I really don't understand how I've been trying to get you to watch Invincible,
Mhm.
and I don't understand the hesitation behind not just checking it out.
Oh, well, see, you fucked up when you sent those clips. You definitely shouldn't have did that. Now I'm not watching it at all. I just had my nephew explain it to me. Like,
I think you're really missing out. I mean,
no, nah.
listen,
He's a
is a great
fucking
is
piece of shit, and
he is, but he's not the show.
he's
That's the main thing. He's not the show. I'm going to spoil it for a little bit. At the end of the final, he bounces. He bounces
oh,
for
I
a
know.
long time.
Yeah.
So what's the issue?
You shouldn't have sent them fucking clips. Like I was gonna just go into it blind. It was animated. It looked like superheroes. It was some shit I never saw before. It wasn't based on like Marvel or DC or anything. It was like some new fresh shit. Oh, okay, cool. Let me do this. The father-son superhero team, dope. And then you sent the clips, and I'm like, oh, he's a dick. I'm good.
What about redemption? At some point, a character like that has got to be redeemed.
Does he? I don't think he
Doesn't
has to
have
be.
to.
Right. And I don't think he's gonna be.
Wouldn't it be interesting to see what that looks like? I don't think you should let, what I'm saying is, and it's probably my bad, but I don't think you should let those clips from the Invincible finale deter you from seeing the show. There's a lot of good stuff in that show outside of one asshole character. Give it a shot. You won't regret it.
We'll see.
And while we're on animated shows, what did you think of Yasuke? Didn't see it?
So like what had happened was, right? I was pretty much in bed all day and I did fuck all. Yesterday we celebrated her mom's birthday.
Hey!
So
happy birthday.
Thank you.
I did fuck all. So yeah, not yet. But I mean, you know me, like I'm gonna fucking binge the shit out of that. Like,
well, I'm not gonna ruin it for you. I probably got maybe 3 or 4 episodes in. It's not bad, but I wasn't hugely impressed. Soundtrack is amazing. The animation is amazing. The action seems to be on point. But I don't know. Just I think they kind of messed up.
I was gonna say, what were your expectations going into it? Let's start there.
I was expecting a Black Samurai kills a lot of shit.
Like
Afro Samurai.
Right. And actually, if I remember correctly, I think they're based on the same person.
Well,
is this a prequel?
No.
They're not related, but they're both based on this, this Black Samurai.
Oh, okay,
right, well,
got it.
And that's the difference between the two, and that's why I asked what your expectation was, because
my expectation thing is messed up a little bit. I'm mad far from my mic. One of the main ones was I wasn't expecting the fantasy element so much. It's like, remember did you ever see 300?
Yes.
Great movie, right?
Yeah.
Love it.
But there was like a goat playing a flute. What the fuck? What the fuck is that doing here?
It's like, that's pretty random. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So it has this element of fantasy to it that threw me off a little bit that I didn't love. But all right, okay, I could rock with it. And then I got the Walking Dead Lee Clementine thing. And a lot of attention was paid to the Clementine part.
What a fucking reference. That's amazing. Well done, sir.
What?
Yes.
And I just looked at the little girl and I'm just like, oh, okay, so you're gonna be a major part of this story. Fuck you. Fuck you. I didn't really need that. I by no means is saying that any of this stuff is bad. It's just some of the stuff that kind of threw me off from it.
Got you. I mean, honestly, before getting into it, like I was expecting something not like super historically accurate, because I feel like the information about him is spotty at best.
At best.
Right. So I expected honestly something a little more like Samurai Warriors, the game, except less murder somehow. But I was more looking for a very intriguing story about just how the characters interact with each other and stuff like that with this cool anime aesthetic. But it sounds like they're going full on anime with this bitch. And
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, full on anime, a lot of the same anime trope. I didn't think it was bad. I probably will still finish the series.
Right.
And speaking of finishing, even before the finale, The Invincible, came out, they already renewed it for 2 more seasons.
Yeah, I read about that. So yeah, I guess fuck it. I'll watch the shit. All right, leave me alone.
Just watch
God
it. You
damn.
watch it. All right, let's go ahead and kick this shit off. What's really good? I am MTV Malik. He is Ace Metaphor. We are joined with Ray Divine. This is 224 The Basement. What's really good, guys? How y'all holding it down so far?
Okay.
Well, I think she's drunk, so she's doing a really good job. What? No? Am I lying?
Me and you would get plastered on a Sunday morning when we did the first season of this. So
oh, hell yeah.
By all means, being drunk is kind of a rite of passage when it comes to these things.
Patches.
Right,
Patches.
Because you had to have the right patches. You know, those are important.
You ain't the only one been drinking. Anything exciting happened in the last week for you guys?
No, I just got like really fucking drunk last night, and oh man, did I forget how fun Uno could be? Holy shit! Like
we got an Uno deck here, and we break it out every once in a while. The worst person at it is Monet. She is super competitive. Like I thought I was competitive, and I always want to win. She does not fuck around when it comes to Uno, and even worse, she's good at it.
Ah, shit. Yeah,
she'll fuck you up and then make you feel like shit for it. You played that? You played that? Were you thinking? Wham! Like, yo, this ain't spades. Chill.
Oh, right, that's what I was thinking.
Nah, and then I put her family onto the hood rules. So like, you know, when you have to draw 2 stacked on top of each other, you got that one motherfucker that's drawing half the deck and shit. Like, yeah.
And you get to watch it. You know, the whole point of that rule is at some point you can watch somebody's spirit just break. When they got 42 cards in their hand and they know it's a wrap, and they gotta just sit there and be a good sport, that's really what it was all about.
When you know they want to fuck up everybody at the table, like
exactly, and we just need to admit that as a people. just like how we make people feel bad for not knowing how to play spades. It's just like nobody taught you how to play spades, and we
so
just
no
shit
one
on
in
you
your
for
life
that.
loves you at all. Okay, cool. That's what that means.
I mean, we had our own rules. We had our house rules.
They weren't as fun as this one.
The hood rules it's just cheating.
It's not cheating. Like, it's soul breaking and it's fun.
It is.
It's how you ruin friendships and families. Like, that's what Uno's supposed to do.
It was fun and I enjoyed playing it, but I'm not like we play with a score. Like you take a score when you're playing.
Fuck you need that for?
And we
if
did
you
not
got first, you last.
We didn't take a score because I don't like losing. So I was like, if we do this, if we get these hood rules in, we're not taking any kind of score because I don't like losing.
Yeah, you don't take score with the hood rules anyway.
And I was very happy.
You know who, you're gonna know who won.
Right.
Me. It was me most of the time.
So there's a story, in my house we played Monopoly a lot. And there was a story, I was really good at it, so was my brother. And we had our little sister playing, and she was, it had to be like 11 or something at the time. And she landed on Boardwalk with like hotels and everything. And we took everything, but we didn't want her out of the game. So so she rode doubles and landed on Park Place. And we took everything. We even made her sell her piece. So she had to keep her finger on the board. We're like, you can't even lift your finger up. You gotta keep your finger on the board. And then she picks it up because she had doubles and rolls a 2 and lands on Boardwalk. And the fucking pandemonium that broke up in that household because of that.
What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
It was so bad. It was so bad. They actually banned Monopoly in our house for a long time. I didn't play Monopoly again till years later.
Yo!
Apparently, my little sister Gigi is still traumatized by what happened. during that Monopoly game. She has never forgot it.
Fam, you just ruined her whole life. Like,
should call me once a year to remind me about that. Remember the time you guys fucked me up in Monopoly? I still remember that. You will too.
Oh my God.
It was the worst.
Made her sell her, like, what?
How, with her finger? That's messed up.
I had to keep her finger on the board or she couldn't play. It was the absolute worst.
Assholes.
Yes. Let's go ahead and move on to some new music that came out. DJ Khaled dropped his album, receiving very mixed reviews. A lot of people like it. A lot of people, I guess, don't like the effort. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, so I'm really excited to do that. But there's one song that I made sure I heard. I mean, we all heard the Drake song. That Drake 2-pack came out, like a year ago.
Yeah.
With Pop Star and stuff. But it was the DJ Khaled featuring Jay-Z and Nas and Sorry Not Sorry. Ace, Ray, why don't you guys kick it off with your take?
I'm completely good off the singing. If they could just stop him from doing that, that'd be dope. As a New Yorker, is it okay for me to say I don't like a Nas verse? Like, is that legal?
Well, Nas on slow verses doesn't really benefit him as much as say a DJ Premier beat.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, like, I like what he was talking about. I just don't like how he talked about it. Like, it's
the delivery.
Yeah. It didn't hit right for me. Jay, I mean, this is perfect for him. Like, let him be as awkward as he wants to be, and it sounds fucking perfect. So that worked. But yeah, I didn't his delivery, Nas's delivery on that just didn't click for me.
Jay-Z sounded perfect.
I mean,
Jay-Z already done this beat.
He's got like fucking 50 other songs on some shit like that. Like that's his home. Like,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Nas was visiting, he did what he could with what he had, but
it was definitely in his comfort zone.
Absolutely. But overall, like, my whole thing is like, I love when artists evolve and start talking about different shit. Like, I like that they're on this grown man level.
Love it. Favorite part.
And that's what I like to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I hope that people pay more attention to that instead of, trying to emulate a lot of the fuck boy shit that's going on out there. Like, emulate these kind of rappers. Like, this is what you should aspire towards.
That's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna
happen. So I definitely feel you on that. I definitely love the song. It was a little slow for me, especially when it came to the delivery. But even as a New Yorker, even as a big Jay-Z and Nas fan, it's okay to feel underwhelmed. When you get these two on the track, I expect haymakers and heavy bars 24/7. And I was a bit underwhelmed. We heard Jay do this beat. For some reason, it seemed even slower and a bit more dull. Should have just went in a whole different direction. I did love the song. I love the grown man shit. Jay-Z, Nas got there a little bit earlier, but for Jay-Z, right around the Blueprint 3 is really when he switched to I'm a grown man and talking grown man shit. I mean, these guys are talking intermittent fasting, Coinbase, shit like that. I love that shit. And that's the kind of shit that I'm attracted to these days. But to say I'm a bit underwhelmed by New York's legends and heavy hitters, I mean, you got guys like DaBaby and Little Baby who tear shit up like this every day. So, love the song, but I still do feel a little bit underwhelmed.
Yeah. You?
Yes, absolutely. I was bored. I was just like, okay, where do we actually get excited?
Oh, like, shit. Like,
it was bad.
It was a build up to nothing. Like,
I immediately, as soon as the song started, I knew there was not going to be a build up to anything.
Oh shit!
I was surprised by the drops. Like, the fuck you dropping the beat for?
Like, there was nothing hard enough here for you to be doing drops. Like, it was.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought it was very hard. It's definitely for a lot of us more grown people And I definitely love that because as I get older, you can only kill but so many people each album. Where are you putting all these bodies? Like, I get it. And so I just wish that more rappers evolved in that fashion too. You don't gotta murder 32 people in every song, which I wish somebody told me when I was in my early 20s rapping. Killed like, so many people.
You ain't gotta be John Wick on the track. Like
exactly, John Wick rappers. So great song. I would definitely throw it into rotation, but a bit underwhelming. I would love to hear something just sped up a little bit more, something with a little bit more energy.
Right.
Maybe even a little bit more aggressiveness. I did love the visuals. There's a video out. Make sure you guys check that out.
Oh, okay.
Jay-Z's hair looks fucking insane, but I love it because it's very black.
And he doesn't give a fuck anymore. Like
I love Don't Give a Fuck
I've seen
Jay.
his hair during the Grammys.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Is he? Because Beyonce thought she was gonna win Song of the Year, and she was prepared. She was like, about to take my mask off. Oh.
No, the Grammys love shitting on them.
Her.
Somebody else. Oh, well, that's cool. Her is pretty not good. Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Let's go ahead and move on from somebody else and Black excellence.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the definitions of Black excellence, and that is LeBron James. The LAPD says they want LeBron James investigated for the tweet after the cops shot that girl that was attempting to stab another one. Now, LeBron may have jumped the gun with the tweet. He tweeted out a report of the stabbing and a picture of the cop and said that, you're next and accountability. And as more details came out from that encounter, it's a little bit murkier. Apparently, the girl who got shot was the one that called the cops. They were at her house. I'm not 100% sure. Details keep changing. But a lot of people changed their tune when it came to that one. Because when it was all said and done, she did have a knife and she looked like she was about to stab another girl. Sure, a Black life got taken, but a Black life may have gotten saved. A lot of people are throwing in, well, you could have tased her, you could have tried taking her down. White people who's killed a whole bunch of people are taken down without violence. People with knives. People were posting a video of one cop who got stabbed in the neck, still chased down the guy and arrested him after getting stabbed in the neck, which we're going to assume is a one-off. But when you have something like that, it's a little bit less black and white. It's just like, yeah, it's sad that, a Black person's life was taken. At the same time, a Black life may have been saved. And, a couple of people got on LeBron. You're like, you have a big platform. You can't be doing that. And the LAPD wants them investigated. And what's your take on this whole situation?
Get the fuck out of here. Like, no, we're not investigating LeBron James for this shit. He jumped the gun, but understandably so. You know what I'm saying? Like, how tired are we of seeing this same narrative play out 100 different times in 100 different situations? Like, and honestly, when he said you're next, he wasn't talking about like, oh, this cop should get killed, this cop should be attacked or something like that. He's just talking about, he needs to go to court. He needs to, be held accountable for what he did, just like we just saw with the George Floyd situation. That's what he was talking about. So people trying to play this violence card and try to color what he said and make it seem like that's what it was about, you're fucking wrong. And we do need that. We do need to hold these officers, we need to hold these people fucking accountable for what they do. So he's absolutely within his rights to do that. Even though, like you said, with more being revealed, yeah, whatever.
It's a little murky.
Right. But no, we're not investigating him for that shit. Shut the fuck up. Like, nah, because if you're gonna investigate him for that shit, there's a long list of celebrities that come up way before LeBron James's name. So nah.
Exactly. For me, it's one, the fuck are you gonna investigate? A shitty tweet? Fuck out of here. That's not, people got shit to do. Two, this is why the tweet doesn't bother me. Did he jump the gun? Maybe. I don't have all of the details. But we're talking about LeBron James. LeBron James is one of the best symbols of Black excellence that we have. This man has never been in no cheating scandals, never been arrested. He got rich, took all of his people with him. He is super unproblematic. Outside of just the whole, I'm taking my talent to South Beach thing, this guy is clean. He builds schools. He is good. I mean, the people who hate LeBron James, very specifically that coon, Jason Whitlock, who takes aim, he takes aim at LeBron every chance he gets. And he's one of those, I'm a coon and I'm just gonna sprout all these right-wing talking points.
Oh my God.
LeBron James is a definitive great version of Black excellence. And even though he may have jumped the gun, there's no investigation to be had here.
None.
People got shit to do. Fuck off.
Yeah. Done deal. Like, get all the way the fuck up out of here. Let's not waste nobody money. Matter of fact, take the money and time that you would spend investigating him and get back to retraining your cops. How about we do that?
Yeah, listen, when you get a chance, look up Jason Whitlock.
I just looked up his picture, yeah.
His whole entire persona is shitting on LeBron James. He's like, oh, LeBron James breeds division. He's a Hollywood elite, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. He needs to shut up and play basketball. And this is why he got bounced from ESPN.
Oh, he wanted them shut up and dribble dudes?
Yes. And then you know he fucked up because Donald Trump selected him to do an interview for him. He's just you know what? He's just the worst. He's the most uncleest of ruckuses that there ever was. I don't know if that's a term, but that's who he is. And the only way that I really handle Jason Whitlock outside of this is I ignore him. Because if you're listening to him, it's the only thing that gives him power.
Right.
And
he's not.
You know what?
Are you okay?
I dislike that guy. You know what? I want to fight him.
I want to.
And here's the thing about fight. I'm well into my 30s. I used to love fighting when I was a lot younger, and now it terrifies me. I do not want to get in a fight. I'm bigger. I'm slower. I may not be as tough as I used to be.
But I still want to fight this motherfucker.
I would still fight this motherfucking whoop his. Let's go ahead and you sent me a story about Willow Smith that you want to get into. What's up with that face? Why don't you go ahead and bring it in?
What is news? News is when important events happen in the world and it needs to be brought to you so that you can be well informed, create opinions about, how your life is going to go, jobs you could get or what's happening in your local neighborhood, things of that nature. These you get these informations from, CNN, MSNBC, places like that. They give you news. Somebody for the love of God, explain to me why the fuck Willow Smith saying she's polyamorous, why is that news? Why is that news? That's not news. That's not fucking news. It's not news. If E or People Magazine, if they want to talk about that, that's fine. That's what they do. They deal in celebrity news. CNN should not be showing up in my fucking Google feed to tell me about this Red Table Talk. It doesn't fucking matter. It's not, and the thing about it is, one, who's surprised by anything that those kids do anymore?
Not I.
You could tell me that Jaden joined SpaceX and is going to Mars tomorrow, and I'd be like, yeah, seems legit. These motherfuckers grew up completely different from anything that any of us could even fucking imagine. The normal problems that we think of on a daily basis never even come up on their radars. So they have time for completely different trains of thought. Why the fuck? Why? Why is this news? And then what made it so bad is, if you read the articles, they're not even giving any insight. They're not saying anything. They're literally just quoting what the fuck happened on the Red Table Talk. Why? Why?
You know what? I definitely feel you on this. First off, who gives a fuck? That's one. I think the reason why people find it newsworthy and the people are talking about it is because it's something different. It's something outside of the norm, outside of what they expected the norm to be. You know, graduate high school, go to college, meet somebody, marry, have kids. Anything outside of that boggles people's fucking minds. And we could all benefit from a little bit of minding your own fucking business. I mean, to be honest, Willow seems like a good kid. Actually, all of the Smith kids really seem like good kids.
Right.
And a lot of what you're hearing is, oh, well, what do you expect, you know, in that kind of a household? And shit like that.
Shut the fuck up.
I think it's also like CNN and MSNBC, they don't really have anything else to report. They are looking for attention. And
well, there's some shit happening in India. They can report on that.
No, because they know that pop culture really brings people in, and especially with Trump not being the president anymore, they're just looking for something shocking. They're looking for that, and this is it.
It is kind of shocking,
part
though,
of it.
because you know it is kind of shocking because we're all taught that we have the norms. Anything outside the norms, it tends to be shocking.
Yeah.
But this is the reason why I'm not shocking. Actually, it seems really woke as fuck. The main reason why is, and mind you, I have my gold card, my Faithful Black Man Association card. I'm a monogamous person. But let's be serious. Monogamy is a prison. It is. It is. It says, here goes a set of rules that we're going to put on ourselves, and we have to follow these rules,
right.
And if we don't follow these rules, we're fucked up people. But in reality, what if we don't? What, some man in the sky is going to fucking spank you? Monogamy is a prison that we put ourselves in and stay in. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I myself is in that prison. Happily. Very happily.
For anyone that's listening.
Very happily, but what it is, it's a social construct. And she just says, if I take this social construct, will I have more joy? And then if the answer is yes, go girl, do your thing. Do your thing. I mean, support you, I just don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck if she wanted to fuck her pet turtle.
And
sure, turtle.
That
as long as a turtle consents.
That's the thought process that people need to have. Like, I don't care what you do in your personal life. I don't care. As long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else, I don't care.
Don't give a single fuck. Like, I don't care.
It's your business.
And if it works for you, it works for you.
I don't care if you are a celebrity. Like,
I didn't even bother watching the Red Table Talk. I was just like, man, that's really great for her. I mean, I don't care, but good for you. And I just scrolled right past and went about my day.
And that's the thing.
We don't watch it either.
I don't watch. I don't think it would have been an issue if I didn't see it so many times. Like,
Kenny was very upset,
bro. Like, almost every fucking, I want to say even the BBC covered this shit, and I'm just like,
that's crazy.
Yo, you have to get the fuck out of here with this shit. Like, what? There's, like you said, there's a pretty big thing going on in India right now that y'all could probably holla at. I'm sure there's a lot of think pieces you could do on that. This ain't it, Chief. Like,
well. Let's go ahead and move on to something a bit more joyful. And yo, did you happen to catch that Nobody movie?
Yes, absolutely. It is
twice.
Good.
Twice.
It's
twice.
So good.
Like,
it's really, really good.
Bruh.
We really, really enjoyed it.
So as soon as I seen the movie, I knew I wanted to see it because I like Bob Odenkirk. Bob Odenkirk is actually a comedian.
Is that where he comes from?
Yes, he comes from comedy and stand-up and being in comedic shows. Breaking Bad, where he plays Saul, then his show, Better Call Saul, has a more serious tone, but he comes from comedy. Definitely not action. But the director, when I saw who the director was, I only know of one other piece of work this director did.
John Wick.
No. Hardcore Henry.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, that was a good one.
I love Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore Henry, even though it was far from perfect, it was very innovative, and they really was doing something different.
Yeah.
But I was just like, oh, the guy who made Hardcore Henry, which was, not the greatest of movies, but I remember being.
Great. I remember being.
I was thoroughly entertained, and I liked it very much.
Okay.
This movie was actually so much better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
The action was nonstop. It was going nonstop, and I loved that of it. So the action was going. The story was pretty decent. And some of the action tended to get on the crazy side a little bit, but it never got too crazy. It was never too bad. A very solid movie, very action-packed. They had RZA, who I knew was RZA as soon as I heard the voice.
Right, yep.
Christopher Lloyd comes in. I didn't know he was still alive. You go, Christopher Lloyd.
82 years old.
Killed it.
Is he 82?
Yes.
Yeah. And he smoked that performance.
Exactly, still popping off the blicky. and I like the fact that they left it wide open for a sequel.
Oh yeah.
Just very, very solid. As believable as one of these stories can be. It's just a solid movie. It's hard to find anything wrong with it, especially when the action was good and it kept coming every couple of minutes.
Yeah, and so I'm probably gonna venture a little into spoiler territory here. So if you've ever watched the show before, listened to us before, that shit happens. Deal with it.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, you feel better now.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about this is, unlike John Wick or Equalizer. Thank you. Fuck, that was gonna kill me. Those guys wanted to get out of the life. They didn't want to have shit to do with the killing and the espionage. No, they wanted to be done. This motherfucker just wanted a reason. Oh, he just wanted nothing more than to get back into fucking people up for shits and giggles.
Not a good reason. Any reason would do.
Just any. Yeah. This movie was the perfect example of I wish a nigga would. Because what starts him back on the path of it is just the smallest thing. Oh, I can't find my kitty cat bracelet.
That's it.
My man didn't even look for it. He didn't even try. He was just like, time to get the guns. Let's do it. Bruh, I love that twist on, this normal trope of okay, I'm trying to live a normal life. I'm trying to escape that life. Shit, even like Kill Bill and shit like that. Like, everyone's trying to get away from being an assassin, a killer, or whatever.
And stay that way.
And stay
just away from that.
Nah, this motherfucker was just like, no, I like this shit. His dad likes this shit. Like,
we all miss this shit.
Right. We just want to fuck shit up. And I'm like, yes, do that. Be who the fuck you are. Go fuck shit up. Like, yeah, completely with it. Like, damn good job.
Definitely enjoyable. It's really hard. I mean, when I do watch these movies, and I went into it thinking that I was going to like it, but usually when I bring it out here, I'm trying to find something that I could pick apart from it. Oh, I wasn't really feeling this, or some critiques. Right. And really turn off your brain a little bit. It's not it's not super long. It's I think it's right there at the 90-minute mark. Yeah. It's full of action. It's funny. Go watch it. Go watch it. It's enjoyable.
Yeah. They don't waste any time with monologues or anything like that. Like, it's super quick.
No wasted time.
When they try to do that, it's cut short and it's funny. Like,
right.
It's just action.
That's a very good point out. They didn't waste any time. They said, let's get to the shits. And even better, I took the whole family to go see it. So I took the kids to go see it. And the whole time I'm hoping, I just really hope there's not too much like sex stuff in it. Because they're the type of kids that like to watch like a whole bunch of horror movies and shit. Like, I'd be sitting there, I'd be like,
oh, okay.
Like, and I don't do it really because I grew up watching a whole bunch of fucked up shit, and I came out pretty okay.
This motherfucker saw Freddy at 5. Like,
I was 5 years old. This was the first movie I saw in the movie theaters, and I was very happy.
Before we get into the next thing, I'm gonna talk to you about Freddy. But yeah, I watched a whole bunch of fucked up crazy shit, and I'm just like, it's really unless it's like really gratuitous, there's no reason to have to shield a lot of kids. Like maybe only twice did I have to go to the kids like, all right, you guys are watching some shit that's kind of fucked up, and I'm making an executive decision. We gotta turn this off. Like they were watching something called like The Terrifier, and the guy grabs this naked girl and he starts sawing her in half, and it's like,
whoa!
And it was like really, really graphic, and I'm just like, okay, guys, that's.
Now we gotta, we gotta kill this.
God.
You know, I'm like, you're 9, so. But most of the time, and mind you, they wasn't even flinching. They're like on their phone and shit, like.
It's like, damn, he's still sawing this bitch?
I'm over here.
Crazy.
I'm like, I'm trying to eat. Now,
Oh my God.
here goes the funny thing about Freddy. I do love the Freddy series. Off the top of your head, do you remember Nightmare on Elm Street 2?
Yes. It's the one where it was the kids and they were in the
high school.
High school.
No. Yeah, there wasn't the insane asylum. I think that was Dream Warriors. I think that's 5. But 2, the second one, a couple of years ago, 2016, I had a lot of free time. I was out of work. So so I was just like, all right, I'm gonna go to a lot of these series and I'm just gonna run through them. Like I'm gonna run through all of the Aliens. I'm gonna run through all the Terminators, all of the Matrixes. I was like, all right, let me go run through the all of the Friday Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
Okay.
So I got to the second one. That's where it stopped. And not that there's anything wrong with this. Friday on Elm Street 2 is the gayest horror movie I've ever seen in my life.
Why?
I never realized this as a kid, and I haven't watched it since like maybe early 90s, or it could have, you know, but I watch it and I'm just like, this movie is so undercover. There's so much gay shit.
Really?
It's not gay. What?
So after watching that, I started going on the internet. I was like, I know I cannot be the only person. Listen, it is super gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But I started going on the internet and looking it up. And it was just like, yeah, first off, the director was gay, and so was the main actor.
Oh, that's not 2? That is not 2.
Yes, 2.
That's 2.
That's 2. Everything about
exactly
it
which one.
reeks of rampant homosexual activity. And they did a documentary about it.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yes. So go back and watch it. And the funny thing is, they really slid that under a lot of people's nose.
If you put in Nightmare on Elm Street 2, the second thing that comes up is gay.
Yeah. And now, mind you,
I watched like there was like a whole series on Freddy and like the movies and Wes Craven and like I watched all of it. Yeah.
And so after watching it, I grew a much bigger respect for 2. I'm just like, they made one of the gayest horror movies ever. They did it under everybody's nose. And they just slid it in there. And I fucking love that.
I just feel like it's not 2.
And
is it 2?
Yes.
It's
and the director, David Chaskin, admitted the gay themes were intentional.
They really hit. No. I don't mean they hid like the intentional gay stuff.
No, I was like 40 minutes into the movie and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? At first, let me tell you that at first I thought that I downloaded something wrong and like a hardcore gay scene was gonna break out. I'm like, this isn't the movie I remember. I was a kid when it came out.
Right.
So I didn't catch any of that stuff. It's like Ghostbusters. When I went and watched Ghostbusters as an adult, I didn't realize as a kid how funny Ghostbusters really was. Ghostbusters is a work
hilarious. Yeah,
which
great.
I missed a lot of those jokes as a kid because, you know, I was, 6 when I watched Ghostbusters.
Right.
So, you know, I could have been no more than 8 or 9 when the second Nightmare, if that, I was probably like 4 or 5 when the second Nightmare on Elm Street came out. Go back and watch that. That's
the second one.
That's the second one.
It's fine. We'll I got an article saved. We'll go over it.
You know what? I say we rewatch it. I say we rewatch it and bring it back to the table. But let's go ahead and move on to something not as fun to talk about, and that's going to be Andrew Brown Jr.
And didn't this, if I'm not mistaken, this happened like right after the verdict in the George Floyd shit, and it was just like, oh, you think shit is getting better? Don't forget where the fuck you live. And I I have so many questions. Okay, like, if you're declaring a state of emergency, right? You know something's wrong here. You know that what you saw in your private rooms or whatever, when you saw that footage, you knew something wrong happened. Why wasn't your first statement the actions being taken rather than, yo, we need to lock the city down? No, tell us.
Because no action is going to be taken if they can help it.
And they were like, oh, we don't want these Black people acting up. So state of emergency.
I mean, have we seen that before where they declared a state of emergency before releasing body cam footage? I mean, that has to be a first.
Yeah, as far as I know, this is the first time I've seen them do that. And to me, it looks like an admission of guilt. Like you're
more than anything else.
Yo, as soon as we show them this, they're gonna wild out in the streets. So like I said, the officer either did something wrong or did something that would be easily interpreted as wrong. And like I said, your first statement that these motherfuckers definitely need better PR people, because the first step there needs to be, yo, we're reviewing the situation. The officer in question is, being held, whatever. Like that needs to be your first step, not, all right, yo, get the guns. We got to make sure they don't fuck the city up. Like,
right. And their actions, it looks like they're guilty. It looks like they want to just stem whatever damage may come from releasing this body footage. And it just seems like a bunch of actions that a guilty party would take.
Exactly.
A party that's in the wrong. There is absolutely no trust to be had here. How can you trust any of this shit?
And that's another layer to this all that I think a lot of people don't seem to acknowledge or understand. Like, we do not trust the police. We have absolutely no reason to. And that in and of itself creates more issues because, all right, I forget what the kid's name was, but there was a Spanish kid who was shot. I want to say he was like 15.
13,
13, okay.
Toledo. I'm trying to remember his name. It was something Toledo.
And he was running. Now, there was a disparity between whether or not he had a gun on him. He had something in his hand. The moment he was shot, he was trying to get rid of it or whatever. But that's the running. That comes from a completely different generation of, I grew up in school being told the cops are my friends. If you ever have a problem, you go to a police officer and they can help you. This is what they told us in elementary school and shit. And I'm just like, no, I can't. Like, I can't fucking do that because you'll call the cops. They'll show up and think you're the fucking problem just because of how you look. And, they look at Black people like we're crazy for, not snitching, not calling the cops and shit like that. But historically speaking, why the fuck would we?
Facts. The kid his name was Adam Toledo, 13-year-old in Chicago. Cop chased him down, told him to drop the gun. He turned around to the cop, had his hands up, and was shot. And I'm really getting sick of seeing those videos on social media, especially like Twitter. And they showed the whole thing. And don't get me wrong, I grew up watching horror movies. I grew up in these streets. I seen some fucked up shit, but nothing can really prepare you to see a 13-year-old gasping for air, knowing it is just a wrap.
Like,
and just hearing that. It's heartbreaking.
It's honestly like, it's traumatizing. And I'm like, personally, I've gotten to the point now where I try not to watch these videos.
At all.
I want to be informed. I want to know what's going on. But at a certain point, you also have to protect your own mental health and not inundate yourself with just murder on a daily basis. Like, and that's another layer to this as well. What the fuck is the psych profile of these officers that are on the street? What kind of mental health resources do they have in these police departments, if any at all? How many times you watch a movie or a TV show or something like that, Stabler punches a guy in the face with some shit. Now he's got to go see the shrink or whatever. Like, Do they even have that shit? Does that even?
Apparently, after a shooting, they take your gun. You got to go see a shrink, and that's the whole process. I'm not really familiar with, but it may not be working.
Right.
I think the cops, not all cops, I think a large amount of cops are very much stuck in a warrior mentality. Us versus them. They're not one of us. They never really will be. A lot of these people do not live in the city they police. It's them versus us. It's too adversarial.
Right.
Watching the fucking Flatfoot walk the beat, knowing everybody in the neighborhood, talking to them, make sure you keep it safe, those days have been long gone. In fact, those days have never even fucking existed, no matter what they tell us. Not for us. Not for us. Imagine me going down saying what's up to a cop. That's crazy. I also do know, unfortunately, it's not all cops. I know several police officers. I work closely with them, in previous jobs. I know it's not all cops, but guess what? If those cops are doing nothing to stop the other cops, then it's all cops. Simple as that.
Right.
The ones that just want to do good and the ones that just want to protect are vastly outnumbered by these badge-wearing warriors. Right. And if they're not doing their job at stopping them, then they're with them. It's sad to say, but that's
as simple as that. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I'm sufficiently depressed. Anybody else?
Yep. That was a downer. Let's go ahead and move it on to our one of my favorite segments that we do not do enough, and it is Sucker of the Week. Now, this Sucker of the Week is a two-parter, and it features the same person. T-Pain. I love T-Pain. I love T-Pain. T-Pain gets a lot of flack for using autotune, but I went to a T-Pain show, and he didn't use any autotune. And T-Pain,
he just sing his ass off.
He stole the whole concert. It was T-Pain, Bow Wow, Tyga, Kelly Rowland, and Chris Brown. Don't get me wrong, the Chris Brown part was amazing. But T-Pain stole the whole show. He is super entertaining, super funny. The first part is T-Pain doesn't know how Instagram works, and it had 2 years worth of celebrities reaching out to him that he never responded to. And you see names like Diplo and just the biggest names in music and movies all reaching out to him.
Yeah.
And he never Jamie Foxx. He never got in touch with any of these brands, any of these famous people, and just because he didn't know how Instagram worked. Now, here goes the thing. He has been around some of these people, I hope. How come none of these people say, hey, T-Pain, I hit you up on IG. How come you never got back to me? 2, you have managers. Why do they not have access to your social media where they can relay this information to you?
That's actually a good point.
It just seems like a whole lack of information, and it seems like it could have all been avoided pretty easily.
And like I said in the group chat, like, it took me a while before I realized what that little request thing was. Like, I just thought, DMs just fucking go through. But I mean, if they're not on your friends list, you get the little joint that says, number of requests, or somebody would like to DM you or whatever, depending on what your settings are. At one point, I probably had like 20, 30 of them shits just sitting there. I had no idea what the fuck it was.
I still don't know what that is.
Hold on. I'll show you.
But he is a famous person. He is a celeb.
Doesn't matter.
He should know.
What?
No.
Somebody definitely should have.
Someone should have told him. Yeah, maybe. But
I deleted him.
Not everyone is into social media, especially since he went through that thing. I don't know. I saw like the news people saying that he was being bullied online and whatever. And maybe he's just not a social media person. He doesn't come off as a social media person.
Listen, me not being my Instagram is pretty much wiped clean. There's like one picture of like my 27th birthday with just me and the family.
Yeah, I think that.
I don't be on IG like that. I'm not a big social media person. You know who else I'm not? I don't have fucking 22 #1 hits.
Right.
And fucking T-Pain, check your goddamn DMs. Jesus Christ.
But at the same time, it's like, yo, you know how this works. If you're a celebrity, if you're a brand, you really trying to hit me up, man, there's phone numbers. Like, come on, man. There's a way
call my people
that you could get in contact with T-Pain, I feel like. Like,
Instagram is a good way to do
that. not for him.
Nickelodeon hitting you up on Instagram, like that's odd. You've been out for
That is not odd.
years.
That is standard operating procedure. A lot of deals get done through Instagram's DMs. This is why people are always on it. That's why it's a favorite target influencers.
Awful.
Let's go ahead and move on to the second part of Sucker of the Week. So T-Pain's a big gamer, plays a lot of Call of Duty on Twitch. He hops into a lobby and you got a whole bunch of randoms yelling, you know, fuck Black Lives Matter, calling him a nigga, saying all kinds of crazy shit to him. And T-Pain, in this story, the people in the lobby are the suckers.
Yeah, just to clarify.
T-Pain and his team fucking mop these guys up pretty convincingly. And he gloats on them. He's like, yeah, who's the nigga now? And he just goes in on them. And the bad thing about it is, anybody who's black who's played on Xbox Live, we have all experienced that to a degree. A lot of times that will happen within the first couple of seconds. As soon as I speak, somebody can tell that I'm black and I'm getting called the N-word.
Right.
So, and the bad thing about it is there's not much that can be done about that without really disrupting the whole entire ecosystem of the game. It sucks, and we've all kind of just accepted it as this is just how it happens. And this is way before Call of Duty, because this was happening to me when Halo 3 was out.
Right.
So I know I'm not the only one. I don't even game that much. So what do you make
honestly,
of?
I don't fuck with randoms like that unless like the situation really calls for it. When I play shit like Battlefield or whatever, I don't even fucking wear a headset. Don't talk too much because I'll fucking mute you. Like I'm not here to talk to you. I'm here to shoot people. That's what this is about.
You kind of need that communication, especially when you do the hardcore gaming. Even when I was on like Modern Warfare 2 and stuff, the communication was a very, very major part.
I mean, when I play, I don't wear a headset because it's
you're black and a female.
Two at one.
Yeah, exactly.
If you think that I am a woman, then it's awful.
Yeah, I've been in a couple rooms where it can get rough.
Aggressive hate.
Right.
Towards me. For some, it's just like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were a girl. And there's like super nice. I've never experienced that. They just hate me. They hate my guts. They don't understand why I'm in the same lobby as them. So usually I just don't use my mic.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not playing in any
toxic.
Yeah, and I don't play like professionally or anything like that. I mean, and most of these games are very simple. Like, all right, you go to point A, take that shit. You go to point B, take that shit. You kill anybody who's in your way in between the 2 points, and you keep doing that till you fucking win. I don't need a headset for that shit.
Like, and it's only happened once. Because I feel like PlayStation is not as toxic as Xbox.
That too.
And the one time that it happened, it was during Grand Theft Auto.
With nothing but degenerates playing.
Like a lot of years ago, like when it first came out.
I never played
Grand Theft
that.
Auto 5. Sorry, I gotta be specific. Grand Theft Auto 5 when it first came out. That's when it happened. But since then, I mean, it could also be that I mute my mic, but yeah, that was the only time that I really encountered anything like that.
Yeah, I never played those Grand Theft Auto online shit. Actually, I hardly play. I don't play anything online these days. I will probably get back into Call of Duty in the future now that I'm back on PlayStation, giving up on Xbox. God, I can't wait to Mass Effect though.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yo, I'm telling you, when that comes out, this is going to be a Mass Effect podcast. Watch. I already know. But let's go ahead and move on. Did you guys watch?
Face.
Did you guys watch Cassidy versus Hitman Holla?
Oh, I tried. I tried my damnedest. I was really interested to fucking get into it.
And what happened?
You know why I couldn't fucking enjoy it? Because the fucking crowd won't shut up for 5 goddamn seconds for us to get through a goddamn punchline. And
they were in a neutral crowd. From what I hear, they was in Atlanta.
I don't give a fuck where they were. They wouldn't shut the fuck up. just let him do the things. Just hold your applause until he fucking finishes. Yeah, I don't understand why they need to be so loud that and having to hear somebody restart from the same. Hey yo, listen.
It's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the beast. It's not gonna change.
That's why I hate it. That's why I fucking hate it. Like I used to really fuck with battle rap and shit like that, but Head Ice, one of my favorite fucking battle rappers. I do like fucking hilarious. But like, I can't, bro. I just can't. I ain't got the patience no more.
Nah, I definitely feel you that. I started to feel like maybe I'm slowly outgrowing battle rap. I don't find it as enjoyable as I used to, and the crowd definitely didn't help things at all.
Like, but you know what? How did Cass do? Like, was it?
He did all right. I mean, this one was really, really close, which is a little bit more sad than I thought it was going to be. I'd probably give Cassidy 2-1. Yeah, probably Cassidy 2-1. I'm not the hugest Hitman fan in the world. I loathe that remix shit. I loathe it. I do not like it.
I never did.
I loathe it. And whoever said like, yo, that remix shit is hot, you need to keep doing that. Like, that needs to be a thing at every battle. That person, I want the heady with. I don't give a fuck who it is. As long as it's not your brother, who apparently is always in jail and hops out to scream that every couple of battles. So, as long as it's not that nigga, cuz. But I don't want to stick on the. I don't want to stick on it too much. It was a big moment for battle rap. Big shout out to those guys. But I think maybe as a person, I might be outgrowing it just a little bit.
Right. I do want to say this. Like, I know. Who was it? It was Method Man and somebody. They did Yes. And I love like how cinematic they did that. Like, I think something like that would be a really dope direction for battle rap to go in. That came from COVID
because you got the big crowd. And Meth came through. Meth came through hard.
Boy, did he!
Like, and here goes the funny thing is that wasn't URL, that wasn't Smack, that wasn't RBE. That was Math doing that with Meth by himself. So big shout out to him for doing. Actually, you know what? I'm not giving any shout outs to Math. He figure out how that whole other thing is going. I'm just gonna say.
Wait, what?
Oh,
what did
he do?
I'm cutting all of this, but.
Yes. Okay, so all shout outs are being held in reserve in escrow until we find out.
Until a little bit more, but you already know how it is.
Yeah,
once they say it, it's said.
Yeah, can't take that back. God damn. Moving right along. Let's go ahead and move on to the second movie. We didn't do an album, but we did do a second movie. Now, you suggested this, and let me tell you something. And I hated it when you suggested this. I'm just like, God. He did, like, he was tight. Like,
yeah, like, here goes one of these, foreign-made Netflix movies with a whole bunch of action. I was like, only thing is missing is fucking Bruce Willis or Nicolas Cage. And you gotta stop sending me, shit like this. So I actually grabbed Mo, and I'm just like, okay, Ace wants us to watch this movie. Let's go ahead and check it out. I'm like, I'm not expecting much. Let's at least give it, 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
God. Yo, he hates everything about me.
No, it's just that, these low budget Netflix movies are really not my thing. And let me tell you something, my fucking socks was knocked off. I was 15 minutes into the movie, I looked at Monet, I'm like, holy shit, this is actually good.
Yeah.
It was, the name of the movie was Avengement.
Yes.
And if you like Guy Ritchie, this is your shit.
Boy, are you gonna like this one.
It's a British movie with no famous people. Even though I think Rebecca Hall from The Town, I think she produced it or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So you don't know anybody in this movie. It's a crime movie. It is action. And let me tell you something. That shit was good, especially on the week that we watched Nobody.
Right.
This was very much in the same vein. Doesn't waste any time. There's some exposition when they're in the bar fighting, but the action was on point. Probably every 8 to 10 pages, we got some major action going on. The action was very much on point. The hand-to-hand fighting, it was great. Now, the story probably was the weakest, especially when you got towards the end of why all of this happened.
Right.
Yeah.
And the overarching reason is pretty fucking stupid. It's about respect. What?
Really?
What?
Really?
Yeah, that's your brother.
Right.
And
it was.
Okay. So, I watch another YouTube channel, Darren Van Dam. Sorry, I gotta throw his name out there. And he suggests a lot of movies, and a lot of the times he's on point. This is one of the movies that he suggested that we should watch. So we watched it. And he said that it is action. You're not watching this for the story, you're watching it for the action because it's so on point. It feels like it feels and it looks like everyone is hitting each other
for real.
Actually.
Yes.
Like, in reality.
And all the time.
Are hitting each other. Like it is. I had to turn away. Like, this is reality. I have to turn my head.
It's pretty brutal. Yeah.
And the main character, he is a stuntman. And
that explains a lot.
Yeah. So that is like the big thing. Like, he's a stuntman, and it was just like that. It's all about the action. Like the story is secondhand. Like it's afterthought.
It's just a means to an end. Like
yeah.
Absolutely. I love the fact. I mean, don't get me wrong, the story, and looking back at it, the story was a lot worse and full of holes than what it should have been.
Yeah.
But the story isn't bad or distracting enough to take away from all of the awesome action.
Right.
It's like, it's a story because it's a movie and it actually has to have a story.
Right.
The story adds very little to the character motivations.
And like the characters are really good. Like, I really liked the characters. The bartender, the bartender chick. She kind of was like, well, why isn't she doing this? And why is she doesn't want to get murdered?
But then she does eventually, because I was just like, yo, there's been mad times he's got his back to her.
Yeah,
shit like
she
that.
does stuff.
But she does eventually.
She does stuff.
Get in there.
But
plenty of opportunity. The worst part about this movie was the story, but it wasn't distracting enough. If you just focus in on the action and really turn your brain off a little bit, sit back, enjoy the show, it is a very, very enjoyable movie.
Entertaining.
Yeah, and
just
honestly,
super entertaining.
I think my favorite part of it was just like it was just a constant build. Like every time you think you've seen the worst thing in this movie, trust me, something more brutal is gonna happen in the next 5 minutes.
Brutal.
Like,
that's the right word for it. It's just loved it.
Good shit. Good shit.
It was good shit. I was thoroughly surprised because I expected this movie to be terrible, but I was just like, you know what? At least it's not super long. At least we can go in and just knock this out. And you know what? I was thoroughly surprised, and I did enjoy it.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. It's time for us to take it down to a little place that I like to call Choo Choo Recommendation Station. Ray, why don't you go ahead and start it off for us and recommend some form of media or something dope to you that you would like for our listeners to go ahead and enjoy.
Well, you already started. You had
Oakley Dokley.
Oh, time out. You did not just say Oakley Dokley. Like
no, she definitely did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is sure, fine. It's a YouTube channel. Sorry, Flick Connections, Darren Van Dam. I absolutely love this YouTube channel. I love movies, and he is great at suggesting movies. He's great at describing the movie
without spoiling them.
Without, he's great at describing the movie without spoiling them. And just getting you excited, and he's very honest. If you don't like his type of movies, which you would know what his type of movie is, if you don't like his type of movies, he'll tell you, and he's like, hey, this is not the normal stuff that I would watch. If you don't like my stuff, then this is probably not for you. I love Darren Varandam. He is my favoritist when it comes to movies, and I always trust him. So Flick Connections, definitely.
All right, Ace, what do you have for our listeners?
I'm gonna go with the YouTube thing. I actually very recently got into a YouTube channel called Saiyan Scholar. It gives you like Dragon Ball Z analysis and stuff like that, which
Did
is
you
very
watch
cool.
Super?
Oh yeah, I watched the whole fucking thing. I'm up to date on the manga. Like I'm good. I'm in there. Like
I got a lot of catching up to do, like 214 episodes, but
yeah, it's a lot of shit.
Yeah,
it's a lot of shit. But now what's really cool is like, okay, so he gives you a lot of analysis and stuff like that, kind of like just really breaking down the story, the different arcs and stuff. But what I really started to enjoy are his what if scenarios. So he'll create a situation like, what if future Trunks, had died instead of Gohan? Would Gohan be stronger, or how would the timeline have changed? What would happen if these two characters trained more before certain events and stuff like that? The way that he does it, the way he breaks it down, especially if you're a fan of it, you've been watching Dragon Ball Z for a long time, I can literally visualize the shit that he's talking about. It's like a TV show playing out in my mind. And I think he does it very well. So, you want some more Dragon Ball Z, maybe you're not a fan of Super or something like that. Like, this ain't a bad alternative. So yeah, Saiyan Scholar on YouTube.
All right. So for my recommendation is actually an offshoot of one of yours.
Okay. Oh,
yes. The Black Sands Publishing app. Now, Black Sands is a it's a smaller comic publishing company. They make a lot of Black centric comics, but the app just came out, and today is the 2nd of May. So I think it came out yesterday. It just dropped. Go ahead and support these guys. They got, it's a game that you can play. There's a lot of comics on it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to spoil it too much, but if you enjoy, Black content creation, Black comics, just overall, I don't want to give away too much. Just go ahead, check it out. I haven't been on it too much, but for the small amount that I have been on it, I really, really enjoyed it. So will you. Check it out. Nice. Just go in the App Store and it's BSP Comics.
Yeah. Oh, you could. Well, for me, it says pre-register. So.
Well, go ahead, I pre-registered a couple of weeks ago, and it just let me download it yesterday. Well, that is dope. Well, that is all we got for this week. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, spending a little bit of time. Make sure you check us out on YouTube. Just make sure you check 224 The Basement. You can follow me on Twitter at MTV_Malik. You can follow Ace at
Ace_Metaphor on Instagram.
Ray, do you have any social media going on?
No.
No. All right. Make sure you check us out. We should be coming to a Twitch near you sometime in the near future. Make sure you check out my other stuff. If you're a big challenge fan or anything on MTV, make sure you check out lwcpodcast.com. Check us out on Spotify, Google, or any of your other favorite podcast app. Wow, really got caught up there. Just look up Love War Challenges Podcast. That's going to do it for us. I am MTV Malik. They are the unconventional couple, Ace Metaphor and Ray Divine. This is 224 The Basement. Good night.
Peace.